Hi everyone, I'm Yohei. In this video, I want to show you how to use map function and how to use map function in React. And what you see in the screen is a empty React project. I'm using Next.js, but you can use either React or Next. Either will be fine. And before I jump into this React project, first I want to show you how to use map function in the console. So open a console. You can open a console and right click and open console here. So let me clear everything. And a map function is a function applied to an array, and it takes each element in that array as an argument and apply another function to each element inside the array and returns a new array. So let me show you an example. So const my array equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Const my array equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And to this my array, you can call map function by dot. So my array dot map, and inside here, the map function, the argument of the map function is another function, and this function is a arrow function like this, and the argument of this arrow function is an element inside this array. So you can call it element, or you can simply call it a EL or a number or anything you like. Okay, so let me call it num here. And for this num, you can do anything here. So for example, num times 2. Now you can see here that the original array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the array we get here is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and every element is multiplied by 2. And of course you can store the result in a new array. So const twice array equals my array dot map. Oh no, not twice, but let me do another thing here. Got const triple array equal my array dot map num, but this time I want to do other things. EL to show you, just to show you, you can use anything here. EL and EL times 3. Now, if we check the triple array, we can see that every element in the original array is tripled. 1 becomes 3, 2 becomes 6, and so on and so forth. And next, I want to show you how to use this in the React. So what is useful in React? So the reason why this map function is useful in React is because React is component based. So everything in React is component, and we use the same component for many data, for many props. So inside a long array. For example, we have many users inside it, and for each user, we want to apply the same component and show some user information in there. And of course, we can use the data in a local database, but in this video, I want to use this JSON placeholder. So you can Google free JSON and click what appeared in the first one here. So this is a free fake REST API. So it is a fake, but you can use it for practice purpose. It has several endpoints, but what I want to use here is users. This API has 10 users inside it, inside an array. Each one has an ID, name, username, email, address, and so on. So let's first fetch it. To fetch this, let's go back. So let's see our code here. And I want to fetch this inside here. So first I need two libraries to store the information and fetch it. The first one is use state and the second one is use effect. Use state and use effect. Because I'm using a functional component here, I need both. If you use a class component, it is fine. You don't need use effect or use state. You simply type this dot something. Okay. So let's set const user, not user but users and set users equals use state and the initial value is empty, and use effect. Use effect takes an argument, takes a function as a first argument, and the second argument is an empty array. So if you put an empty array, it is called only once at the beginning. Corresponds to component did mount in the case of class component. Okay, so inside here, I want to fetch. So fetch what? Fetch users here. So get this URL. So copy it and fetch here. Fetch it. So when you fetch it dot then, you can change this by dot then, and what we get is a response, and to this response it includes metadata, and we don't need all of them. We simply need the JSON, so we can call .json on this response, .json, and .then. Now we have a JSON. For this JSON, so let me first just console log it out and see whether we can correctly fetch the data. So console.log JSON. Okay. Save it. Now let's see the console of our project. And inside the console here, yes, we have an array of 10 elements. So let's check it. Now you can see we have successfully fetched the array. Okay. Now we are ready to use the map function inside here. So it simply shows hello world, but what we want to do here is to map the users. No. Before, I have to set the users inside here. Not to console log it, but what I want to use is set users to JSON. Yes. Now this JSON is set inside the users, and now we can use it. So inside here, not the hello world, but what I want to do here is to map the user. So users dot map, and inside here we have access to all of these data here. So a map function, as I showed you before, is mapping through each element, and we can name each element anything. So I want simply name it user here, and for each user I want to return something. Yes, return a div, return a JSX here. Yes. So let me give you first a simple example by just showing the name of it, the name of the user. So name, and the user dot name. And we are not doing any CSS. We simply break by a horizontal line here. HR. Div user dot name user. So what happened here? So what is the problem here? Div HR. Oh, I see. I can't put two elements inside a map function. So if I want to put two divs, I have to make a container outside the two divs and do like this, div and a horizontal line. Yes. So what I'm doing here is called map to users, and this users is this big element, big array, and for each user I simply call user.name. So let's save it and let's see our app here. User is not defined, not users but users. Okay, save it. Yes, you can see 10 names here. And I think in many cases you don't just want to show the name, but if you also want to show other information in the database. For example, you want to show website and user dot website. So let's see what happened here. Now you can show the website here. So let's take one step ahead, one step further, and I want to use a component here. So this is not ideal because we are in React, so we don't have to write everything into here, but just put it in another component. And inside the component, we can style this each div in a different component. So let's make a component, and here. So I made a component folder, component. And inside the component, I want to make user card.js and RFCE. Yes. And here, let's copy and paste, not package.json, but these one. Cut it and paste it into here. And we don't need this outside wrapper anymore. Yes. Okay, and export default user card, and here we just called user card, and import it from user card, save user card, save it. Okay, import user card from yes, and here because I call another component, I have to pass props. The first one, I need a key in a map function. The key is user.id, and what I have to pass is name and website. So name equal user.website and name equal user.name and website equals user.website. I think I can get the same output as before. Reference user is not defined. Okay, no, not user, name, user. Oh, okay, I see. Here, I need to destructure the props and user name and website. So name, the props I passed from the parent component is name and website. Name and website. So here I type name, website. Okay, and save it. Yes, now I can see the name and website. But what if we want to need more? Name, username, email address, and city, and zip code, and company name, and more. So when this becomes larger and larger, this part will become complicated. So because we have to, in this style, we have to define everything here. So key equal user.something, name equals something, website equals something, and so on. So in this case, in a case where there are many props to pass, I can do it more simple. So let me show you this part as the last one. So instead of passing a element inside this map function, I can destructure this element like this. ID, we have ID, and of course we can say name and website to destructure it, and we can access name and website directly from here, but we can catch everything by props. Props includes everything here. So key is not user.id, but key simply ID, and instead of defining everything like this, you can simply type props like this, and once save it, we can access to each element inside this object directly from this component. So we want to use name, for example, we want to use name and website, and say we want to use the name of the company. So div company, and we can access to the company name by company.name, and here we type company. Now save it. You can see that we now have companies. Oh, I missed something. So what's this? Website. Okay, I don't need this one here. Okay, save again. Now we have company here, but when we look at the parent component, we don't pass website, or we don't pass company as props, but we pass everything. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you understand how to use map function in React, and have a good day. Bye bye.